covered by highly trained stylists with an eye for detail. And don't miss the signature hot towel refresher, the perfect finishing touch that leaves you feeling clean, relaxed, and ready for anything. Walk in or book now the Vanity Zone in Smyrna. Looking your best is always in style.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, from oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Let's hear from customers of Dr. Automotive.
He does a good job. He lets you know what's going on and do it at a good price.
Danny does a lot in our community, so he's very involved and invested.
I recommend family, friends. Danny is spot on because he'll suggest what I need to do, and of course, I've never had an issue.
For quality care you can trust, visit Dr. Automotive in Smyrna. We've got the cure for your car.
Hey, Middle Tennessee, it's Mark from the Safe House. Can I have your attention, please? I have an important announcement. Our president has a backbone. Thank you, President Trump. We sleep better knowing our country is protected. And speaking of protection, criminals laugh when you purchase a fake safe from a big box store. There's no better time than now than to visit the Safe House and see what a real safe looks like. Rebates now through the end of July on select brands. Our brands include Liberty, Fort Knox, and Browning. Drop by one of our locations or go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com. And remember, we don't just sell safes, we sell peace of mind.
AFFI is Middle Tennessee's premier choice for pest, wildlife, and moisture control. They specialize in those difficult and unique cases. You can reach them by phone at 615-300-2395. That's 615-300-2395. Or stop in at 200 Glenrose Lane in Smyrna.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale Store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
Hi, this is Allie Dowenhauer with Isaiah 117 House. Isaiah 117 House provides physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need. We support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford County.
Hello, I'm Roger, one of the tour guides at Sam Davis Home, 1399 Sam Davis Road in Smyrna. To learn more about Sam Davis, Smyrna's boyhood hero, we offer tours Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. No reservations required. To book a wedding, creek house rental, field trip, or any other event, contact Jenny Lamb, our director, at director@samdavishome.org. Visit our Facebook page or give us a call at 615-459-2341.
Hey, I'd like to tell you guys about the Crusader Auto Works in Smyrna. About 4 years ago, we bought this facility. It's about a 25,000 square foot facility that handles all your automotive needs in the Smyrna, Tennessee marketplace. Everything from collision to full auto service and classic car restorations and customs. And so I think we're one of the only locations in Middle Tennessee, anywhere of that size and that capability that can handle any car need that you have, whether it's a modern day car, sports car, or a classic car of any kind. We can take care of what you need at Crusader Auto Works.
Hey, I'm Floyd, and I'm inviting you to join me at CR. That's Celebrate Recovery. We meet at Family Worship Center, 3045 Memorial Boulevard on Sunday at 6 p.m. We're a 12-step Christ-centered program that offers help for all the hurts, habits, and hang-ups that's causing you pain. The program works if you work it, and I'm proof. For other CR groups, go to CelebrateRecovery.com and click on the group finder. Hope to see you soon.
Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. Flagship station for MTSU Sports. The views and opinions on this show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of WGNS, its management, other hosts, or advertisers.
This is Conversations with Mike Sparks.
Are you concerned with the state of America, your state, your community? Then you're in the right place. State Representative Mike Sparks. He and guests are here to talk about local politics, history, faith, and freedom.
All right, there's Roger Thomas's favorite song, YMCA.
I'll get it back before it's over with.
Dancing in the booth. Yeah, like y'all did at East Fork Boat Ramp.
Man,
Anyway.
it's really good. Man, that's going to start off real nice about Father's Day. How was your Father's Day?
It was really good.
And then you want to throw me a
It's an inside joke.
foul ball.
There's only like five
right
people.
Off the bat. Yeah.
Only like 5 people. There's probably some sheriff's deputies that's been around a long time that would get that story. Rooster Bean. Who else would understand that story?
Tony Campbell, mate.
Nah, Tony's too young.
Oh.
It had to be old school. Marty Luffman.
How do you know?
Well, they closed the park back years ago.
What year, Mike?
I don't know, 80s or something. Anyway, got a big show tonight. Got my buddy Marcus Manise. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just got through eating some Father's Day dinner at Outback, and
Wow.
everybody sleep at home. So I was like, whoa, I guess I
taking
don't wake
that
anybody up. Come on here and get on the radio station and have some good conversation about fatherhood.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing. If I had some unsung heroes, you'd be one of them. And
I appreciate that.
Here in a little bit, we're going to have Congressman Scott Desjardins called in about 5:20. Congressman with the 4th District, our district. Until November, because we redistrict. So we got a new congressman coming to a little bit of the Smyrna area. I don't know if it takes in your house. Yeah, I think it does take in your property, Roger. It's a little sliver of Smyrna comes in. And it ends at in my street, by the way. It goes all the way to Memphis.
I wonder how that is.
I didn't do it. People think I did it. I had nothing to do with it. It just so happened. It just worked that way out.
Yeah, like the S shape. Oh, that's
yeah.
I got you.
Anyways, but one thing that you're one of the few people, Marcus, that I think really sees this issue and even has addressed it. What got you involved, man, to care about the fatherless and mentorship and advocacy like you've been doing?
My mom got me to mentoring when I was 27.
Yeah.
And I just felt bad that a kid didn't have what I have. I have a great dad. Enjoys Father's Day with him today. And my mom said, teach him. Just teach him what your daddy taught you. And I just said, anything my parents ever told me to do, I took it seriously. And being able to help a young man who does not know his father, giving him that encouragement, giving him the motivation to overcome his anger and his issues is what makes me enjoy the work even further. Seeing them progress, seeing them grow, seeing them graduate high school, seeing them grow and enjoy, man, it's just the work that I enjoy doing.
Yes.
So that's how I got started. I believe that anything you do, you need to take it serious. And I've taken this job serious. Many days I wanted to quit. Many days I wanted to stop doing this. But for some reason, God said, you ain't stopping, so you got to keep working. So that's how I got into fatherhood and teaching and developing and being a dad myself. I'm a dad, too. So my boys get it the worst.
Yeah.
But one thing they see is their dad working in that field of fatherhood. So we took a trip to Memphis yesterday to visit a young man who used to be in my program here in Nashville, but his mom had to move back to Memphis. So I told my boys, get in the car, we're going to go visit him, because he gonna have a dad for Father's Day. But
Yeah.
what if we can go down there and spend 3-4 hours with him and just make him happy? And that little time, but my sons was with me. And that's what, the work I do is seriously, I take it seriously. I want to change lives and impact lives.
I got a text this morning from young African-American male that helped me, Marvin. I don't know if you ever met Marvin. He used to work for me.
No.
He's in Memphis visiting his grandmother or his mom and his grandfather. And I got a text from him saying, Happy Father's Day before my own sons. Nothing against my own sons. I mean, if they're listening, they might be listening. Both of them, one got me a card, one just gave me a big hug, But I thought it was really interesting. A young African-American kid texted me, Happy Father's Day.
You meant that much to him.
And
Tiffany shot me one a little early.
Oh, she sent me one.
Yeah. Tiffany's. I don't know if y'all know Tiffany. Or if he knows.
She was my intern last year.
She's just.
Okay.
She's out of Chicago.
Oh, she's really a great.
I thought she was coming to the studio.
Yeah, she may. She may.
She is.
Sometimes she'll pop in.
Well, what frustrates me as a legislator that there's 330 lobbyists in Nashville, and now there's taxpayer-funded lobbyists. People don't realize your tax dollars are paying these people.
Oh, wow.
And here's the irony, man. Tell me if it's is it irony? What's the other word? There's come on, Connor, you've got a fancy degree. What's it called? Oxymoron. I get it mixed up. I think it's kind of an oxymoron that your lobbyists, your taxpayer-funded lobbyists, are making more than your representatives are.
I didn't know that.
It's crazy. So it's like, what is going on in this country? But here's the point I want to make that folks need to wake up and pay attention to. None of these people are lobbying for these issues, brother, like you're doing.
Yeah.
And you look at the. I'll just read some stats off real quick.
Yeah.
You know these stats. 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. 90% of runaways are from fatherless homes. 32 times the average. 85% of children who show behavioral disorders, like we're hearing in the media, we're hearing from school teachers, we're hearing from school superintendents. 85%. 20 times the average are from father's home. 80% of rapists with anger problems are from father's home. 14 times average. 71% of high school dropouts. Wow. Father's home. 9 times the average. Children with fathers are 40% less likely to repeat a grade. Children with fathers who are involved are 70% less likely to drop out of school. And children with fathers are more involved are more likely to have A's in school. But you look at the link to incarceration, man. I mean, our country incarcerates more people than any country on the face of the earth, and no one's lobbying about it.
No,
it's like, what's going on here?
It takes people like yourself to bring up the subject, because a lot of people who's going through this like to keep it quiet. They like to bury it. I don't want to think about that. I didn't grow with a dad. But thing I realized that life's going to continue to go on.
Yeah.
These issues going to continue to go on. One thing that we have started with Strong and my father is building more in school. We want to work with the kids at school, keep them at school, keep them from dropping out, and helping them with some of the issues they're dealing with at home. So you got a problem in the world. I call it the biggest pandemic no one wants to talk about. I would write a book about that.
Yeah.
But it's a pandemic because once that you didn't read was that there's over 18 million kids growing up in homes without a father. That's 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4 houses have a live father living in there.
Yeah.
So when you don't have that father in there, that's when you see those statistics that you read, because how God intended it was the father was supposed to lead the home. The wife or the mother was supposed to be the helpmate. So when you don't have somebody leading the home, it's not fair for that mother to have to do everything on her own.
Yeah.
When the dad is there, my wife is asleep. You're having her beauty nap right now.
Yeah.
She ain't worried about lights and water, and if something is broke, the house is cool upstairs. She ain't worried about that. That's because that's my job to be sure those things are provided. So when those things are not provided as a man, that's when you see those problems.
Yeah.
So now, what's the best thing to do now is you should get men to step up. To say, you know what, people think mentoring is you picking them up every weekend. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's picking up a phone call, checking on you. You doing all right?
Yeah.
Oh, let's grab Chick-fil-A. If it's once a month, as long as that kid knows that I have a male figure in my life that's going to spend some time with me, that child has a greater shot at being successful. But when that child has nobody, then he goes to the alternative family, and that's when you see the crime and everything else.
Yeah.
So when you send for lobbyists, I think it's just to be brought up more. Don't bring it up in just June. Fatherhood should be 365. Bring it up as much as you can. Where are the funds that say, let me support mentorship programs. If politicians want to begin, you ain't gonna never fix the problem.
Yes.
But you can start putting a curve to it. So if we don't care, then it's people like me. I'm gonna fight until my breath leaves my body for fatherhood. I'm gonna fight for these young men and give them a shot, because then you're preventing them from going to juvenile. None of my boys in my program go to juvie.
Yeah.
Because their mom is gonna call me before it even go left.
Yeah.
They gonna call Marcus. I need you to talk to my son. What's going on? What's the problem?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be on your butt. Make sure, and I mean that sounds the right way, but I'm gonna fuss at you.
No, that's
because my dad, I'm doing the same thing that my dad did towards me. I've never seen a jail cell, never been to juvenile, because my daddy says the only thing gonna keep you out of trouble is work the living daylights out of you. So we work 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And we went to church on Sunday to get away from daddy, because daddy didn't go to church much. So if you wasn't dressed right, daddy said, I'm gonna work you on Sunday. So you had to learn that pretty quick. But that's what real mentorship is about. I know there's a lot of programs that's out here that just want some likes on Facebook. I'm out. I'm seriously about what I'm doing. Don't care about the validation. Don't care if I get an award. My reward is when I see these kids graduate high school, or they can go to college, or they get a skill. That's my reward, not anything else. But like you said, Mr. Sparks, I think it should be brought up more.
Yeah.
About fatherhood and where's the fun. If we want to begin curbing juvenile, but it seemed like we put the money into juvenile services. We put the money in trying to fix
after
them.
the fact kind of stuff.
Yeah. Why can't you prevent it?
Right. That's exactly.
So my dad prevented us from going to juvie. He prevented that. Now it was still, when we got grown, it was still our choice, but we had so much of sound discipline in us. We didn't want to go that route. So only jail visit. I made one jail visit, and I went through the wrong door. And they thought I was an inmate that was spending the night. I looked at them. I said, look, if you don't let me out this door, it's going to be a fight. I'm going to really go to jail. And they died laughing. But that was the first time me ever walked into a jail. And I just told my boys, if you go down the wrong path, don't call me. I'm not, because I never taught you that. So if you go to juvenile, there ain't no Mr. Marcus. I told you before you make a move, talk to me. If you feel like it's a bad move. But I could talk all day, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to take over your show,
My
man.
dad said that. He said, son, you ever get arrested, you ain't calling me. I ain't coming after you.
No, he ain't coming after you. Heck no. My dad told me the same thing. That's why I never went to juvenile jail.
Yeah.
So I want him, because I knew what my parents said. Even now, if I go to jail, they ain't coming.
Exactly.
Because you shouldn't have done it.
Marvin, we often cut up a lot. He's young African American male and handsome young guy, and he's in law school, works for Office of the Courts, and he is just in the zone, working all the time. He even got rid of his girlfriend. He's just focused on this stuff, on law school, and he's told me, so man, because I'll tell him, look, you need to back off. You need to go visit your family in Memphis. And he said, man, you told me I got to hustle. I got to make it happen. I said, yeah, but don't do it and then sacrifice your family. Something happens to your granddad or your mom, you're going to regret it because you've been working all the time. But he said this little analogy. I thought it was neat. He says, and he bought a car that I kind of hooked him up with. I was he bought a car that needed some work, need a little bumper. Man, he got it for half price. I was surprised he did. He'd say, hey, man, here's a car. Yeah, look at this. And he did exactly what I said. I was really surprised. So he's in his car at half price, keeps oil change, and just maintains it. But he says, if I'm broke down the side of the highway, he said, and somebody sees me crying as a young African-American, the cavalry ain't coming for me. He said, I'm on my own. He said, they may come after a woman. They may stop and help a woman, but they ain't helping me. He said, man, I've got to just work. I've got to make it happen. And just grind every day. And I don't know if he's listening right now. I hope he is. If he is, he's down there in Memphis. But so proud of this young man. Been the best assistant that I've ever had. Knocked on 4,000 doors for me. Man, people liked him more than me.
Hey, he probably had the personality.
He did.
That turned people around. And he was like, I like him better than you. I've heard that.
But he's a great guy.
Exactly. Man. Yeah. Well, here's our Congressman. Congressman, go ahead. How you doing?
Hey, good. Having a great Father's Day. How about you?
Oh, doing good, sir. I know you're about to catch a flight, and just really enjoyed the company at Puckett's of the day with Dr. McPhee, MTSU president, the newly elect Randy Allen, our mayor, and Bill Ketron, and Senator Don White, and some others, and really enjoyed the fellowship with you, Congressman.
Well, thank you. I did too. That was a nice event, good fellowship. If anyone left hungry, it was their own fault.
Well, I didn't leave hungry, that's for sure. I had, I was telling you about the school that we were able to get the $250,000 grant for, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my friend Edith Moore's concern. She's grew up here out of Memphis, and they just opened that up the other day. They had a Juneteenth event Friday night, turn electricity on. It's an old African American school off Old Nashville Highway.
Cemetery School, what it's called.
Yeah, but over by the battlefield. But appreciate you taking the time to meet with her.
She's a great lady. I really enjoyed meeting her. She's really interesting.
She's been a trailblazer. Congressman, one thing we talked about today is this base expansion from Berryfield to Smyrna that I know you've been involved in. We've got this $400 million, transition for the 118th Wing and Army Guard that's moving over to Smyrna, and I know you've been an advocate in trying to help us get more funding over there, and a potentially new tower. That air traffic control tower is 83 years old. So a lot of great things coming to Rutherford County and specifically Smyrna, Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, of course, those towers are terribly expensive, but there's no question it's extremely important to get in the funding stream and get it built. And as far as the 118th, they do amazing work. It's most of the world doesn't know that all these Reaper drones that are doing damage all around the world are being flown right there out of Berryfield in Nashville, and I assume we'll be moving that to our new location. And I'm sure you've been up there, and I've had the opportunity to visit, and it's pretty incredible that people are sitting in little it looks like shipping containers flying these drones halfway around the world, taking out our enemies and assets. So it's pretty impressive, and most people don't even know that's happening.
I was telling you, my sister was a guard a National Guard over there for many years, and I always kid. She wanted me to bring a couch up there. It's a big, giant couch, and I was like 19, had to carry a couch, or 20. Carry a couch all the way up there. She called about 3 months later. She said, "Hey, I need to come get this couch." And it fell out of my El Camino on San Marie Parkway when I was driving out of there. I didn't get to strap that thing down. But, a lot of history out there with the B-17s, B-24s. And, I was at an airport. In fact, I'd love for you to meet this guy. I was at a guy's birthday party, Mr. Charles Jones. He's been on the air with us, Congressman. And his 96th birthday was yesterday. And went out there to Brentwood. And this guy remembers traveling down San Marie Parkway. It was Jefferson Pike back in the day, before Seward Air Force Base was constructed. And he owns a Milky Way farm. It was founded by the Milky Way founder, Morris Candy Bar founder, but had lunch with him yesterday. Just a great guy, Mr. Charles Jones. He grew up at the old Jefferson community out there, but it was neat spending time with him. I was asking him what kind of car he was in. He remembers going down the road with his uncle. He said it was a 30. He said he thought it was a 37 Ford. He said, remember, it was two-door, it had suicide doors. And I started looking. I don't know if Ford made a two-door with suicide doors 37. He said, well, it could have been a Lincoln, but it was neat talk with this guy. But this guy's got a program that he's kind of want me to put out there. This guy's a really wealthy guy. It's called Benevolent Capitalism, to help others invest in their own home. He owns part of the Rivergate Shopping Center, owns the old Madison Hospital up there, 240,000 square feet.
The old Macy's at Hickory Hollow.
He owned that, and just a great guy. But how you like being in D.C.? I mean, it's a lot of traveling. It seems like, isn't it?
Well, first of all, I'm impressed that you have an El Camino. Those are kind of rare.
Well, I liked them back in the day. Well, mullets were popular too. we had it was a different time. That's for sure. You know.
This is a funny look. What's it got, a 350 in it?
Well, that was a SS car. It was at Champaign, man. It really was a sweet car. The only thing you're limited on what you can do. And I remember my younger brother. You know, I think I've shared with you. He was the #1 agent at Quantico, and he'd be mad if he heard me bragging on him, but can't help brag on because I prayed for him every day to be top agent when he graduated one of those 3-letter word agencies that he don't like me to talk about. But I remembered I had a fitness center in Smyrna. I had a bunch of the weight equipment, and we had this multi-gym machine by McDonald's and Pizza Hut. And I didn't strap that machine down on that El Camino. We're at the red light. And I went to take off, and the machine fell out and stood up in the middle of the road. And my little brother, he was like 14. I said, "Come on and help me." He goes, He was embarrassed. And some people stopped and helped me. It was one of them, where the weights slide up and down.
Did you get a workout in, Mike?
People just start to help. But Smyrna was so small back then. And it was totally a different day. But with that $400 million investment coming to Smyrna, what $1.9 billion economic impact, it's really going to be a shot in the arm, not only for Smyrna Laverne, but Rutherford County, Middle Tennessee, as well.
Tell you, it's like one of the fastest growing areas in the country. We've picked up 500,000 people since the last census in 2020, and most of them are the Smyrna, Laverne, into Davidson and Rutherford County, right in that area. And so everybody's wanting to move to Tennessee. They're bringing their businesses here. I mean, heck, even Starbucks left Seattle and came to Tennessee.
Yes.
Not a big fan of the liberal folks out there in Seattle, but they made a good choice, at least coming to Tennessee. So as long as they leave the liberals in California and send us the business and the good conservatives, I'm happy.
Well, I had a Metro councilman of all people I happened to run into recently, and he even brought up that he said, we've got local small mom and pops closing down, and he even disagreed with that ECD incentive. I just thought it was interesting. A Metro councilman was even concerned. But Congressman, you've had several awards from Heritage Foundation. For your conservative record and other organizations, and just being in touch with the 4th District, which if people don't know what the 4th District is, explain kind of where all it encompasses.
Well, it's changed a lot over the years. I've actually now represented, I think, 32 of our 95 counties through all 3 district processes. So now, it's actually as tight as it's ever been. So we basically come from Marion and Franklin County and go up through Grundy and Coffee and Warren, and now we picked up Cannon County and, of course, Rutherford and Davidson County now account for almost 70% of the district. So it's all right up there in your area. And with this redraw, it's changed quite a bit. So I went from over 50% pretty rural counties to about 70% suburban now, so this can be a little different than I'm used to, but I'm excited about the opportunity, and so but as you said, Washington, that's what DC was like. It's been a really interesting cycle with such a slim majority, and we've got to play team ball up there right now to get anything done, and there's so much going on in the Middle East and other places that it's been a challenge, but I feel like we're, believe it or not, despite what you hear on CNN and some of the liberal outlets, I think we're headed in the right direction.
I've been praying for world peace of all things for the past probably 4 or 5 years. I mean, just this morning when I prayed with my wife, just so many concerns, and just like, where's the future at, whether it's 5 years from now or 10 years from now or 20 years from now. I've got grandbabies now, and Grace and Henry, and we're talking with Marcus Manise about his fatherhood advocacy, but it really is concerning, And one thing I wanted to share, do you want to bring it up, Roger, that you heard me talk to the Republican women about?
Oh yeah, the kids not standing up for the pledge.
Yes, that was really concerning.
I mean, and for a while they took under God out of the Pledge of Allegiance a few years back. I don't know if you remember, it's been 20, 30 years ago. I can't remember how long. But 10, 15% didn't like that under God was in there, and then they don't want you to have nativity scenes in small towns because that somehow violates the Constitution. And it's like, this country was founded on Christianity and religion. Yes, we have freedom of religion, but it's so important that people understand and teach these younger generations that we're one nation under God, and we can't let that slip away.
Dave, Scott, I'll let you. I know you got to catch your flight, but I was honoring a 90-year-old Vietnam vet and Cotton Walden.
At the Memorial Day service.
And the Blue Angel was behind us. In fact, the county mayor, Randy Allen, was in the background. Smyrna Mayor Mary Reed's in the background. And I was telling this man, because I got to honor a few months back, and so did the mayor. And I remember he said he picked up his little daughter, I think it's Kathy, and he said she was 1 year old. He said he picked her up, kissed her on the cheek, and had to leave that day for Vietnam. And I told him, I said, you had 58,300 fellow military men besides you that were 22 and 23 that never came home. 58,000. And I told him about what I'm hearing from school teachers, that these students won't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. And just the look in his, it pained me to even tell him, but he just had this sadness. Remember, this is a 90-year-old veteran, and it just broke my heart. I hated to even say it, but it's like Marcus and I are talking about the fatherhood and other areas that need attention, But I know, Congressman, you've got to catch your flight. And
I'll just add this. What I find fascinating is my job on strategic forces, I do quite a bit of traveling all around the world, where South America, Europe, Asia, Indo-PACOM. And right now we've got 45 different countries here for this World Cup soccer.
Oh, yeah.
And when I travel around, you can't find Fox News. The only news they have is CNN and some of the liberal channels. And so I find it pretty fascinating. These countries are coming here saying, we're told how terrible things are in America and how dysfunctional it is. And they're just loving it. They're going crazy over the food, the people. Buc-ee's, just silly little things. Going into a sporting goods store and the freedom. There's like rifles and guns on the walls. And
refills on drinks.
It's pretty sad that ranch dressing, Hidden Valley Ranch, the TSA agents are having fits with them trying to get that through security. But the fact that they're coming here and they're getting to see it firsthand, they're saying what an amazing country this is, and yet so many Americans don't appreciate it, and we have to listen to this propaganda from the left wing media that they hear and we hear. And it's like they're rooting against America, and it's like, it should make our veterans who have served and are serving now feel bad. And so, it's up to us to change that and talk about it and appreciate the fact that we do live in the greatest country in the world. And so we're going to continue to fight that fight.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you. And you have a safe flight to D.C., sir. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you. Connor, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676, or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance Policy Perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Want a flawless look without the wait? Step into the Vanity Zone in Smyrna, where upscale style meets everyday convenience. Specializing in precision cuts, color services, waxing, and more for men, women, and kids. All delivered by highly trained stylists with an eye for detail. And don't miss the signature hot towel refresher, the perfect finishing touch that leaves you feeling clean, relaxed, and ready for anything. Walk in or book now the Vanity Zone in Smyrna. Looking your best is always in style.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
Hey, Middle Tennessee, it's Mark from the Safe House. Can I have your attention, please? I have an important announcement. Our president has a backbone. Thank you, President Trump. We sleep better knowing our country is protected. And speaking of protection, criminals laugh when you purchase a fake safe from a big box store. There's no better time than now than to visit the Safe House and see what a real safe looks like. Rebates now through the end of July on select brands. Our brands include Liberty, Fort Knox, and Browning. Drop by one of our locations or go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com. And remember, we don't just sell safes, we sell peace of mind.
AFFI is Middle Tennessee's premier choice for pest, wildlife, and moisture control. They specialize in most difficult and unique cases. You can reach them by phone at 615-300-2395. That's 615-300-2395. Or stop in at 200 Glenrose Lane in Smyrna.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
Hi, this is Allie Dowenhauer with Isaiah 117 House. Isaiah 117 House provides physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need. We support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford County.
Mike Sparks conversation. Mike Sparks talking with Marcus Manise, Stronger Than My Father, Fatherhood Initiative, and joined with us Roger Thomas. Roger, you want to say a word or two about your late father? He died at what, 50?
No, he was 56.
56?
Yeah, but he was worked 3 jobs. My dad, there was 5 kids. He had he worked his full time, and he had 2 part-timers. One he couldn't work, he worked the other. Yeah. And like I said, his deacon in the church. And like I said, I think that's why we never ever really got any trouble, because I had a father, you know. Now,
well, you just didn't get caught.
Well, no, I didn't do nothing crazy. I mean, I did the old
normal.
Yeah,
but what we would have thought wouldn't be crazy today, you'd go to jail for easy.
Yeah,
Let's face it.
Yeah, but but we had sense about us.
Yeah.
You know,
well, we also had neighbors that helped us.
Oh, yeah. Like Miss Kravis, like you said.
Nosy neighbor.
yeah, but I could tell, you know, Mike was, you know, like I said, we know the right decisions, whether we do it or not. You know what I'm saying? We know. We've been taught that way. And,
well, I wanted to get into. Connor's going to play a clip. I run a bill, a House Joint Resolution 131 last year. It just says urges schools, nonprofits, faith-based organizations to place more male role models in schools and classrooms for mentorship opportunities for children. It's a simple resolution. It goes on to say positive male role models and less time online are always ways to ensure students across the state have access to opportunities and skill sets that will help them succeed. I'm proud to advocate for children and thank my colleagues for supporting these resolutions. Well, here's what's powerful, and I wanted you to play this right here. I mean, Phil Williams is never going to tell this story. Nobody in the media is going to talk about this. I'll challenge them They won't talk about it. Now, I've seen a little bit of your stuff online, a little bit, but Phil Williams investigates never going to come up to you and be talking about this issue.
Only time news is going to come out to me if I do something bad.
Exactly.
So I just say
not
keep
another
doing
good. Yeah,
keep
right.
just doing. Here's my thing. I realize how social media and all those things work is people love the negativity, never the positive. So I just say I'm going to keep doing positive so you'll never call me. So that's how I look at it. From news, social media, we want to see the negativity. We want to see Marcus done this.
Yeah.
Marcus did this. But when Marcus is driving to Memphis to go see a kid who will not have his father on today, to say, hey, happy Father's Day too, it's not popular. So you have to develop the mindset that you're doing this work for God. You do it for God.
Amen.
You keep your mindset there. Then I don't worry about none of the social media crap. I post because that's part of my business.
Yeah.
If it wasn't part of my business, you wouldn't know probably 90% of the stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because you're saving a life. And this kid's 10 years old. We keep traveling to Memphis. I travel every 2 months to go see him. Every 2 months. We jump in the car. It's a 2 hour and 45-minute drive. And we go spend 4 or 5 hours, sometimes 6, 7 hours. Then me and my kids come back in the car and drive home. But the news, I've told them that. I've talked to the news people. And I got a good relationship with the news media. But I said we only cover the bad stuff. Every now and then we'll do a feel-good story.
Yeah.
Something that feels good.
Well, that's like Mike. Mike showed me this statement. He had it typed out. I read it. I read this. Yeah.
It's talking about faith.
Yeah, and y'all seen the way they changed it up.
They took the whole. It was all. I mentioned Jesus. I mentioned Jesus in a news report, and they took it out. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, my mom did that before. My mom and my sister had breast cancer together, and my mom was saying stuff about Jesus in the church, and they took that out. But I mean, that's just how the world operates.
It's just sad.
But my thing is that my weekend mentorship program, we pray before we leave and before we get started. Can't do that in school. So I said, all right, God, let me just be a present.
Yeah.
Let me be a present. If I need to talk to him about church or anything else, talk to him outside of school. But the biggest thing is being there.
Yes.
And that's why I realized when you just had the resolution, I said, I wish that was towards us, get us some funding to get more. Cause
we can try.
The point is that we're going to go into more schools. We're in Williamson. Yeah. We're going into more in Nashville, and somebody asked me yesterday, when you gonna come to Memphis? Are you gonna bring your in-school mentorship program to Memphis? I said that's a big challenge. That's a big problem. And so I said if God tells me to go, I'll go. But you never know.
Okay. Well, let's play this clip real quick. This is who's talking now. This is Representative Antonio Parkinson out of Memphis, and his words are so powerful that people need to wake up and listen to what he's saying. School superintendents, these taxpayer-funded lobbyists that are making more than any representatives are and senators, that's for sure. They're not doing anything. I mean, this is where people need to wake up and know what's going on in your country, because we're going back. This country's going back. We're $38 trillion in debt. We're going bankrupt. And society is bankrupt when it comes to character and moral values. Like I said, when kids can't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, I mean, and we're celebrating 250th year of America. Something's wrong in this nation. But what you're fixing to hear is some powerful words from a lawmaker out of Memphis. Go ahead, Connor.
And I want to thank Representative Sparks for bringing this legislation. I just buried my best friend, right, Pastor Ricky Floyd, who had started this mentoring organization called the Husband Institute, where he brought young boys in and he would teach them and show them and give them the tools that they needed to grow up to be men. I myself grew up without my father, and I thank God for the United States Marine Corps, because it's my drill instructors that really imparted that information, those tools that I needed to grow up to be a man. And I remember what those days were like, absent that father. For the first 12 years of my life, I had a stepfather in the house. And when he and my mother separated, our entire household went to hell in a handbasket, honestly. And we experienced homelessness, homeless 3 times before the age of 17. And dealing with those decisions, because I did not have that fatherly guidance, at the age of 14, I was arrested in my high school, second period class, taking my algebra finals, because I was going to shoot to kill 4 other kids. And it's 70% of our inmate population, they come from fatherless homes. Thank God, by the grace of God Almighty, he had his hand on me, and he sent the right person to those principals to tell them that I had a loaded gun in my pocket sitting at that desk. And that saved not only my life, but the life of 4 other high school students in that high school. But had there been a father figure in my house, all of that would have possibly been avoided. This is important. Fathers are important. And we have so many policies and different things that alienate the other parent in the lives of these children. And so again, Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. Representative Sparks, thank you so much for bringing this resolution.
Representative Sparks.
Yeah, that's, I mean, those are powerful words that were said on the House floor. I mean, here you hear him say that he brought a gun to school, okay? And you look at the correlation between school shooters and the fatherless, it's staggering, you know, and no one seems to want to address it. I'll be honest with you, man. Sometimes I think the system's set up for failure. I think it's I mean, I hate to theorize that way.
I don't really think it's a system set up to fail. I think that when the father's not there, you're just going to deal with a lot of issues. The system part is if a young man hasn't been taught discipline, discipline how to deal with women and everything else, then it's going to have a ripple effect. That's what he just told you on this clip. It's a ripple effect. Yeah. So systems can be broken. So it just takes men who has the knowledge to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to teach. I'm going to do these things in mentorship where they're not caught up in the system. I just went to see a young man who was in my I mentored at West End Middle, and I said, I want to work with you in high school. I said, you got something, but I'm afraid that without the proper tools, you're going to go left. Yeah. So I had lunch with him and his mom Friday, and we sat down. I said, young man, you built to play football. This could be an avenue to take you out, but not only football, I'm going to teach you discipline on manhood. Because his father, he just recently died a year and a half ago. So I'm trying to, I'm the person that I like to disturb things. So when you say there's a system, what if I say, hey, what can we do something to break the system? Break them for they're not going to juvenile, so y'all not using tax funds for this kid. Because I know jails is sending kids to jail is a moneymaker. Yeah. So my whole thing is that I disrupt stuff. That's just what I do, and I'm trying to disrupt the system. Yeah. That's designed. Now I think it's a system designed for the fail. But I think that if you go in there and teach, and you can work with the mother, show her that, hey, this is a different path I'm gonna send your child on, and now it's up to the child to make the decision if he's going to go that route. But the best part about it is just being there. So when I told a young man, hey, we're gonna go to some football camps, we're gonna go do some eat, we're gonna talk, I'm gonna teach you, and I says next time we go out in public, that hair better be cut, or I'm gonna take you to the barber shop. So I said, every time we go out, you're going to look like a man. And he died laughing, but he needs that. Yeah. Because his mindset is, all right, whatever. When you go out in public, you always got to look presentable. So that's how I feel about systems, is that, is there a system designed to fail? Yeah. Father on home is a system, but somebody got to disrupt the system, and that's who I am.
You know, I was speaking to Republican women of the day, and shout out to Karen Hudson and others, Felicia Hicks and others that were there, Lynn Davis, Heather Dawborn, Randy Allen was there, and some others. But I mentioned this issue, some of this, and where somebody asked about how do we reach the youth, how do we reach these folks, and I mentioned that about the students not standing up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, because John DeBerry talks about this. You know who John DeBerry is. Yeah. He marched with Dr. King. He was taken off the ballot. He's running for county mayor of Shelby County right now. and he credits a lot of his success to his dad. And, you know, he integrated the schools. And I remember he shares his story. I hired, you know, Michael Carnes, Tennessee Christian Film. Okay, I think that's where me and you met. Well, you know, I'd hired Michael and Jeff Green Films, to go down there and make those videos of John DeBerry. Then the governor hired him, like, I think a month after. You know, he was the first African-American to be on the first floor of the state capitol, making history. That story's never been told again, something that don't fit the agenda. But he's running for mayor down there, and he asked his dad, he was kind of nervous because his sister was nervous, and he said, be a man. He said, his dad told him, he said, Dad, what do I do? He said, be a man. He said, you show respect, you're going to get respect. And John is really a living legend. Sadly, he was taken off the ballot after 26 years as a lawmaker serving Memphis. But those videos are powerful because they tell his story, and he credits his father with this. But, you know, I think one thing that I've noticed in my life, like I had neighbors that, you know, one was a police chief, Sally Walls, Major Walls owned the Omni Hut, they owned the country club. And even though my neighbors owned the country club, we didn't have much money. Unlike the Thomases, man, they had all kinds of money, you know what I'm saying? But it was cool to have people that, you know, took you out to dinner, that took you swimming, that took you fishing, that taught you. I mean, I wouldn't have went, what'd you call it, crawdaddy hunting, when you went out in the creeks and
Crawdaddy hunting.
Crawdaddy hunting. That what it was, crawdaddy hunting. Well, those vines in the Omni Hut, we pulled them out of the woods back behind Tenneco. Well, now Advanced Auto Parts.
Oh, were they shooting? Okay, go ahead.
You know, the old vines that he put up there. But it was cool because my dad really wasn't into that kind of stuff. My dad they were divorced, but you know, my dad was the part of that Greatest Generation. They were just different. You know what I mean? They were different. Luckily, I had a stepfather.
Old school, you know? Kind of guys, wasn't it? Just old nonsense kind of guys.
Yeah, man. My dad, he could cuss and make poetry out of it. I mean, he wouldn't make up cuss words. You know, just real had a bad temper, and I guess, you know, he probably seen a lot of combat in World War II, and just never got it. But fortunately, I had a Christian stepfather that did take us to church, which we had to be in church. I mean, we never missed church.
Wow.
You know, so you grew up in church too?
Heck yeah! I told you in the beginning that we had to go to church to get away from Daddy. Daddy worked 7 days a week.
Wow.
We worked us 6 days a week.
Yeah.
On Sunday morning, he gave you a chance to go to church. He said, if you don't look decent, you're going to stay here with me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work you twice as hard as I worked you on Saturday.
So that was his way of telling you need to get to church.
He gave you a chance to go to church. You had a chance.
Yeah.
And so we grew up in a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house.
Yeah.
And we would fight.
Yeah.
Because my dad would be in the garage waiting on you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wait on you. He give you a chance, and you had to. So a couple of times my older brother wasn't dressed right. My dad never argued with you. He just said, go in there and get your work clothes on. You don't want to go to church. So you see that as a child, you like, oh, shoot, I ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
So I went to church, because and that's why I'm still in church now, is because we didn't want to work with Daddy on Sunday.
Well, don't you think, you know, I was sharing with the Republican women of the day, you know, the main protester at MTSU over Nathan Bedford Forrest, I mean, the main Hellraiser, he became my intern. I was telling the story about Amazing Grace and how slavery was in Great Britain. A lot of people don't know history, you know. Amazing Grace, written by John Newton, slave ship captain, former slave ship captain, who influenced a lawmaker, William Wilberforce, to free the slaves 30-something years before America did. But when I mentioned William Wilberforce, the young protester, good. I mean, he was just a little hellraiser, but he come up and he said, Miss Sparks, he says, that why there's William Wilberforce universities created by abolitionists. I said, man, this is why history is important. He said, man, can I be intern? The Alphas gave me an award.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Phil Williams never going to tell that story. It does not fit the media.
Phil Williams is an investigator, so I'm going
to investigate how this guy got.
I ain't going to investigate the good stuff.
No, they ain't going to investigate unless I say something that's controversial that piss people off. Could I be that individual? I could do it in my sleep. My goal is to help kids have a future. Help them that they don't go down the wrong paths. That's all.
But don't you have, here's one thing I've noticed. I think young men want discipline.
Yeah, the thing I would say this.
They want structure.
Representative Sparks, kids, when I was in the school at West End, these boys would walk into class before their session. Like an hour before their session, they would pop in and see if I'm there. Mr. Marcus, what's up? Yeah. Somebody called me today. Call me today. Leave me, man, Mr. Marcus, happy Father's Day. Call me back. Kids long for that. It's in them
Yeah.
And God put it in them to want to have a father figure.
Yeah.
Because when kids go to school, little kids go to school, and they see their friends with their daddy and they don't have a daddy, they go and ask mama, where's my daddy?
Yeah.
Mama may be mad at daddy. She may say something negative. Kids angry. That anger leads them to doing all these type of crimes that you guys are fighting, saying it needs to stop.
The mom's frustration, it passes
There
on
you go.
to the kids. Yeah.
It's anger. Anger goes in all multiple directions. That's why when you have road rage, it's what?
Yeah.
Anger.
Oh,
Anger
yeah.
leads to problems.
Yep.
So my job is that I'm trying to prevent it. My nonprofit is not the best attractive because most nonprofits that get funding are profits trying to fix problems. Yeah. I am preventing a problem.
Investing.
And that's why it's hard for me to get the funding that I need to do what I need
That's
to do.
why
But here's the thing I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna keep fighting. That's why I do the work that I do.
If folks who listen wanted to help you,
Yeah.
you know, there's some philanthropists out there, or maybe it's some widow that says, I'm going to send you $50. How do they get in touch with you?
Just go to my website, strongerthanmyfather.org. Look at the top right. You'll see the button that says donate. Every dollar goes towards our in-school mentorship that starts in the fall. Our weekend mentorship starts in the fall. And we got a very exciting summer camp coming up for next year that I cannot wait. And it's going to be a five-day retreat where we're going away for 5. I'm taking up to 50 young men. We're going away. Activities, classes, and on Father's Day, their moms get to reunite with their sons after 5 days. And you're going to see a turnaround in their lives. So that's what our program is going towards. So go to our website, strongerthanmyfather.org. All our social media is what's on this shirt, Stronger Than My Father. Help us continue to fight for the fatherless.
Yes. Now, you don't get any kind of state or federal funding or anything.
No, we've got some small ones in the past.
Does the
nothing
Southern
major.
Baptist Association help you?
No.
The Church of Christ? Have you ever reached out?
No, I never reached out. We've had churches that supported us in the past. We're building up an adopt a school initiative. I send it to you.
Okay.
That we're trying to find schools, churches to adopt a school in the fall. And then what we're going to do is send you all the reporting, everything that's going on, these young men at the school, so you can have a hand in saying, hey, I'm at this school and we adopted this school. So we're going to continue to fight for these young men.
One thing, when I visit the alternative schools, we used to do a remote radio show going back like 20 years ago. Those students, when I was talking to the students, they like that smaller classroom size.
Yeah.
But Rob's probably listening right now, our property assessor. We tried to apply for a pilot program for a grant about chess. The game of chess.
Yeah, chess club. Chess club.
Think before you move, and it's based on that movie.
Life of a King.
Yes.
I know.
Okay. So we were, because to try to mitigate violence and think before you move.
Yeah.
Kind of like, we had 2 people murdered on I-24 in my district, and it was probably, one was road rage, the other one's probably road rage as well.
Road rage is bad.
And you think about like those 2 kids that shot the young man with the stolen gun, Kyle Yorlet, past that gun safe bill,
the
23-year-old musician. The fiscal note to incarcerate those 2 15-year-olds is probably $1.5 million to $2 million. And nobody's thinking about that.
Somebody getting paid from
Now,
that.
one thing I will give Phil Williams some credit for. If you go back and study that issue, Phil did interview the mother who the daughter was challenged, I guess, from behavioral issues. The mother was trying to get help and couldn't get help. So I do have to give, in all fairness, give Phil some credit on that issue right there.
That shouldn't be.
But investing, let's try and tie it into that game of chess and put you in touch with Rob.
Yeah. Well, I know it's funny that the National Chess Club did a mentor session at our weekend session.
Really?
He taught the younger than the oldest about the power of chess. And if you go to our social media, Instagram, you will see these boys smiling playing chess. They're really competing against each other. So my whole thing is young men need to learn how to think before you move. That's one of my sessions that I do. We do Jenga. Jenga is one of the best fun games to do for think before you make a move. 'Cause I tell every boy, each block you grab is your life.
Yeah.
And when you touch that block, some of them keep like, no. I said, nope. If you touch it, you're going to fight through it. If you knock all the blocks down, that means that you made a bad move.
Yeah.
We teach that, and that's what we want to do.
Even Proverbs says a wise man is slow to anger. Marcus Manise,
Thank you.
Strong My Father.
Thanks for
Thank you,
calling me
Roger. And thank you, Connor. Folks, we'll see you next week.